There are three wars which Zionism is launching against the Palestinians. War against people, kill as much people as you can. War against territory, grab as much territory as you can, and war against memory. They eliminate anything that connects the Palestinians to their history.
Olá, sejam bem-vindos a mais um episódio do programa de entrevistas do site A Terra é Redonda. Nosso convidado de hoje nasceu em 1973 no campo de refugiados de Jabalia, na Faixa de Gaza. É escritor, bacharel em língua e literatura inglesa pela Universidade de Birzeit, na Cisjordânia, mestre em ciência política pela Universidade de Bradford, na Inglaterra, e doutor em ciência política pelo Instituto Universitário Europeu, em Florença, na Itália. Ele foi porta-voz do Fatah e ministro da Cultura da Autoridade Palestina de 2019 a 2024. É autor de diversos contos e 6 romances, além do relato The Drone Eats With Me, um diário dos ataques de Israel a Gaza em 2014, que levou 51 dias e terminou com a morte de mais de 2.000 palestinos. No ano passado, ele lançou em português pela Editora Elefante Quero Estar Acordado Quando Morrer, um diário em que narra os 85 dias que passou em Gaza durante o genocídio iniciado em outubro de 2023. Mr. Saif, thank you very much for accepting our invitation. It's a great honor to have you as a guest in our show.
Thank you very much.
Mr. Saif, I've mentioned during my introduction that you were born in 1973, just before the 1973 war broke out. In an interview with Chris Hedges, you said that because of this, you would call yourself the son of death. In 1982, when you were only 9 years old, you were arrested by Israeli forces, and a few years later, during the first Intifada, you were shot. These are just to mention a few episodes that marked your life. In your book, The Drone Eats With Me, you write that in Gaza, everyone carries their own memories of conflict. Wars stand as markers in a Gazan's life. There's one planted firmly in your childhood, one or two more in adolescence, and so on. Life is what we have between these wars. Could you elaborate briefly for us what does it mean to have life be what happened between wars, and how this shapes and molds the life of Palestinians?
Thank you very much. Actually, most of the Palestinians, they were during wars and they died during wars. And this is like one of my novels starts, because we are the son of wars and daughters of wars. War started with the British mandate on Palestine when they started to bring the Jewish from Europe to give them our country. And since the Nakba, which is 1948, until now, we're targeted every day, every single day. And so we all born in wars and that we die in war. And what we live is a break. It's not life, actually. Because I could die many times during the current assault or war against Gaza, which started October 2023, or before that in the first Intifada when they shot on my liver, or before that when I was a child, as you mentioned. And unfortunately, the Palestinians are living under one single war. But we call it October War or Gaza War just for the media. But it's a war that continued since we were uprooted from our homeland and we were made into refugees. And I remember, my dad was born in a tent in Jabalia in 1949. And he died in a tent. He was killed in a tent in Jabalia 2024, which is not mentioned in the book because the book stops at December 23, after 85 days of the war, the time I spent it in Gaza. So always I think I live by chance, or by mistake, I would say. Because you're alive because did mistake in you. It's not because you struggle or you're enjoying your life. And unfortunately, the coming generation in Gaza now, the Bambinis, the kids, now they grow up in a destroyed city. So when they remember their childhood after 30, what they remember? Bombing. Even if there is no war after a while. So there is another war which continues, a war of memories, war of reflections, war of the past. When, like my kid Yasser was with me in Gaza. He's 16 years old, and he lived 5 wars. He was born 2006, 2007. When he was 1 year old, there was this war, then 2012, then 2018, then the 2014 before, then this war, you know. So this one single episode of death, and this is not philosophy or theology or life is a struggle to survive. You have to struggle. For this, life is very important and very precious, and you have to enjoy it always.
On the fifth day's entry of your most recent book, you write about Israel airstrike on Carmel Tower. And you note that they always go for these kinds of buildings, new, impressive, exciting hubs of development and investment. The aim is always to send us back in time to make the city look poor and ugly again. In your speeches and your interviews, you also often mention the attacks on libraries and archives. What do you believe Israel is really trying to eliminate these attacks?
There is a parallel genocide, cultural genocide. Okay, and I'll tell you, October 7 at 5 o'clock in the evening. Instead of Israel looking for the hostages, what was the first building to be bombed in Gaza? People forgot it. The main museum in Khan Yunis. Why? Because there we have the Canaanite. You know the Canaanite. The old Palestinians before the Judaism arrived to the country. We have the statues there, our gods. So they destroyed it. Instead of so they destroyed the Carrara Museum in Khan Yunis, where we have the old Phoenician and Canaanite and the Palestinian old statues. So they destroyed it. So in the first 2 months, 12 museums were totally destroyed. And at the same time, 85 public libraries were destroyed, among them Gaza Public Library, the municipal city, where we have our cultural treasures, all the Palestinian publications in the last 300 years. We don't have it now, unfortunately. And they didn't bomb it, they burned it. They send burning bombs, so they make sure that all the books are burned, then they destroy the building. Same thing they did with the Gaza Archival Center, where we have all the documents of the city in the last 200 years and a half, 250. So they burned this archival, which is a very historic building, and then they destroyed it. So all the minutes of the municipality of Gaza in the last 200 years, the economic documents, cultural documents, so political minutes of the meetings of the municipality, they all banned. And at the same time, in this 47 cultural foundations were destroyed, including the Shawa Cultural Center, which is one of the main cultural centers, and same thing with the archival, with the archaeological sites. All the archaeological sites of Gaza City were destroyed, unfortunately. Among them, the Amphibian, which is the Gaza old seaport. This seaport is 4,000 years ago. They destroyed it. And the same thing with Saint Hilarious, which is a protected international law, because this is the first monastery in history. Saint Porphyrius Church, 1,700 years old. They destroyed half of it. So, and more than 200 old buildings in the old town of Gaza were totally damaged, including hammam, including souks, including mosques, old mosques, including palaces, old palaces of some of these buildings are more than 1,000 years old, like Samra Hammam, which is one of the oldest in the Middle East, existing and functioning. I used to go there, to take hammam there, and now it's all gone. All the Gaza city, they destroyed it totally. So there is kind of cultural genocide, which is nothing new for Israel. This is what they did in the Nakba. What they cannot steal it, they destroy it. If we can change this and we make it hebraic, it's okay. If we don't, then we destroyed it totally. And in this cultural genocide, everything that relates Palestinians in Gaza to their history was totally damaged. And this wasn't done on purpose. For this, there are 3 wars which Zionism is launching against the Palestinian. War against people, kill as much people as you can. War against territory, grab as much territory as you can, and war against memory. They eliminate anything that connects the Palestinians to their history. Last example. There is this Basha Palace, which is a castle, 800 years old. And it's very beautiful. It's in the hill, in the city center. Any general who gets in Gaza uses it as his office, including Napoleon Bonaparte. Napoleon, when he gets in Gaza, he used to have his cafe there. It was very nice in the hill, and you see all the field. Any stupid person will use it as his office. They destroyed it. because they don't want to see anything connects the Palestinians to their history, because they cannot say it's Hebraic. No way. It has a very pure Islamic characteristics. This is what I call the war against narrative or memory war. So let's eliminate anything that connects, or we steal it. Either we steal it, like the main thief of Palestinian archaeology was Dayan, the former Israeli minister of defense. He used to come to Gaza and to steal archaeology, and to steal them, all the archaeological sites of, but even his daughter is the main collector of the Palestinian top. You know our tops, some of them are 600 years old. And they're very classic Palestinians since our ancestors 4,000 years ago, and some of them from the Christ time, because the stitches across. You know the main collector is the daughter of Dayan, because her father stole all the villages, and now she sells them with $500,000, $1 million of the pieces. And nobody sues her or them. And even in the Knesset, the Israeli parliament, which is not a parliament, it's a Knesset, they call it, they were showing the Palestinian jars and statues with the story from Gaza in this war. In the parliament. I'm not pretending they said this in their news. They showed some members of the parliament sitting in their offices, and they have these and they were saying proudly, "Oh wow, these are from Gaza." So they're thieves of history, because thieves steal what don't belong to them. You don't thieve your thing. If this is my book, I don't steal it. But if it's your book, I steal it. So this is what thieves do, because it's not their archaeology, it's not their history. They steal it. So this war against memory, against narrative, is more dangerous than the war against territory. So 3 wars: one against people, against territory, and what connects them? Memory.
Exactly 1 year ago, we organized an episode on our YouTube channel to discuss the first year of the genocide in Gaza. During that conversation, an idea of gasification of the world was proposed. Gasification of the world. Meaning that what we see in Gaza functions as a kind of a laboratory, not only of techniques of destruction and extermination, but also for producing indifference and apathy worldwide. These are experiences that tend to spread globally amid the current rising geopolitical tensions. But this also means to say that the Palestinian bravery and resistance must be seen as an expression of a people that refuses to accept the fate imposed upon them, something worthy of much more attention and respect and engagement from other peoples around the globe. What are your thoughts about these 2 ideas?
First, classically, Israel is using its wars as laboratory to develop its weapons. Look to 2014, for example, or 2012, they used the attack against one of the Palestinian leaders, the functionality, how they did it very functionally, to sell more drones. And at that time, they said to Azerbaijan, to Germany, and they were showing it the expo of weapons, I think, in Munich. They were showing live. You see, we did it. And now they're showing off their ability to destruction. Now they're using what do they call it? The robot, the fighter robot. Now they're testing them in Gaza, because they want to sell billions of dollars after the war, and they're going to sell. So one of the first moves that should be taken is to take a decision international in the United Nations to ban exporting wars from Israel, weapons. Because Israel is doing these wars to sell its weapons first. Of course, they do the wars because they want to kick us out. But they're using us as a laboratory to develop more machines. I would say the Nakba meant to eliminate the existence of the Palestinians. We didn't vanish. And that's very important, because we were supporting the Nakba. Just, we go to the Arab countries and we dissolve there. Because we Palestinians are either Christians or Muslims. And the Arab countries around us, Syria, Lebanon, Jordan, are Christians or Muslims. So we dissolve. We have the same kitchen, the same language, the same dialect. So we disappear. We didn't disappear, unfortunately. Fortunately. For this mess, bad luck, we didn't disappear. Because you cannot be the descendant of Jesus and the old Phoenicians and you disappear. So we didn't disappear, So they crucified Jesus and Christianity survived, So this is the point. So the resilience of the Palestinians is not a matter of a choice. You don't have any choice. It's not because we're not heroes. We're human, but we believe in our humanity. And this is more hero than being a hero. So we believe that, what is us for us. And we don't have any problem with the Jewish. We have a problem with the colonial project that is called Israel, which takes our land. Because among us, there are Jewish Arabs and Palestinians. So you have to take it first. One of the main steps which all solidarity campaigns and anti-genocide organizations work on, to ban exporting wars from Israel. Because the more we export weapons from Israel, the more we encourage Israel to use the Palestinian territories as laboratory to develop their weapons. And second, the Palestinians, they don't need advice from anyone. We live in. I remember my dad when I told him, "Listen, let's move to Rafah." He said, "No, I was born here. I will die here. I don't have any." It's not a matter of. It's a choice by itself, but even when you decide to die, it's a choice. But you don't die because you want to die, because you want to prove that the only way to live is to live in this country. Yeah.
So in your the book that came before this one, The Drone Eats With Me, you shared your diaries from the 2014 wars. And now in this one, you develop your experience in the 2022 genocide. Having experienced both wars firsthand, how would you compare, or would you place the current war in the history of wars you and your people faced?
No, once again, I say it's one war. It's not different wars. This time it was, I think Israel took a decision to eliminate the Palestinians in Gaza this time. So there was this intention of destroying, killing, damaging the city. You mentioned once killing the beauty or eliminating the beauty of the city. The decision was taken the first day. So people forgot that the most extensive and brutal days of the war were the first 1 month. Because they want to, but then they realized that Palestinians are not going anywhere. Palestinians love their country, they want to stay there. Foreigners, they can leave. But not foreigners, it's our country. So I think the main difference was the level of, it's not violence, it's the same level, I believe me. But the plan of Israel was to moving the people outside Gaza. And luckily, again, the people, they love our country. We love it. We suffer? Yes. We feel hunger? Yes. We feel deprived? Yes. We're not able to move? Yes. Gaza is the only city in the world which is on the beach, and there is no single ship ever traveled from Gaza to any other. It's the only city in the world. And people forget that the naval siege on Gaza is imposed since 1967. We think it's from the war. 67. For the people of Gaza, the sea is another fence. It's a borderline. It's a nice painting, like you look at the painting, this painting. Wow, it's a sea, but it's nothing. So I think in this war Israel intended to finish the business with Gaza, but they failed, luckily.
So talking about their failure and what's going to happen in the future, on the 6th day's entry of this, your latest book, you quote your friend Hisham asking, "Why should I build a new home if the next war is going to flatten it?" Last month, US President Donald Trump announced a Gaza peace plan, which includes a ceasefire among its 20 points. This plan has been celebrated in many places as both an end to a genocide and an opportunity for peace. What do you expect to come from Trump's plan?
Now, first, I would say that we don't have any choice. We have to accept this deal. Because the deal was either we continue the genocide or we stop it. And I think it's wise to stop the war. But I don't expect that Trump is going to bring peace, because he's a person who doesn't believe in peace. But he wants to make a show. And luckily the show is for our interest. When he gathered 25 presidents of the world and he sat in the middle, wow, nice photo. For me as a person from Gaza, I don't mind. But I don't expect, because now, we will have the war in a different form. Like Israel will take 53% of the Gaza Strip, beyond the yellow line they call it, and they will keep attacking Gaza without being in a war. Like 2 days ago, 44 persons were killed, and today 5, tomorrow 6. So they continue the war without being in war. And this is, but at the end, it's better than the previous situation. And now, If you want food, give me something for the food. If you want reconstruction, give me something for reconstruction. If you want, then we continue on, the Oslo peace process, remember? It was supposed to last 5 years when Arafat and Rabin signed it. And it was under American supervision. And after the 5 years, the Palestinians are supposed to have a state, fully-fledged state, with Israel withdrawing from the West Bank and blah, blah, dismantling settlements, and we have borders, seaport, airport. Until now, we talk about Oslo peace process. It's now 33 years old. And so I think we're going to get in a longer process where what matters, and this is the American mentality, it's not the peace process what matters. So in Trump's deal, what matters is not the end of the deal, the peace. The deal itself is what matters. Just remember what's that. We have a deal. Everything exists. We have a deal. But this doesn't mean that genocide is stopping. For this, we have to struggle in more than one front. First, we have to struggle to bring all the Israeli generals to the International Court of Justice, including Netanyahu. Everybody contributed to the killing of Palestinians. Second, continue the boycott and against weapons mainly and the products. Third, in the occupation. How come you have a deal or a peace deal when you don't end the occupation? And even Trump's deal doesn't talk about ending the occupation. It talks about stopping, because he wants you as a Brazilian citizen to know that Israel stopped the war, because he wants to protect Israel's image. But Israel continues killing, but without being in war.
And for us to end, is there anything you would like to say to your Brazilian readers or to our fellow people? I
think we Palestinians, we are very grateful to all people who supported us during these 2 years of genocide. Because without these demonstrations, without this solidarity, Trump wouldn't move. Because, the demonstrations, be them in Latin America or in Europe or in Asia or in Africa, they all proved one thing. Israel is alone. And Trump doesn't want Israel alone. So the more we demonstrate in the streets against Israel, against occupation, the more we force those devil persons like Trump to act, because they want to protect Israel from this. And I think we're very grateful for all those people, who went out in the streets and who boycott. And we have to continue boycotting. I was amazed in Brazil, falafel in Hebrew. Hey, falafel is, the word is Arabic. The word is Arabic, very pure. It doesn't have any Semitic origin. It's very pure, classic Arabic word. This is how they steal our culture even, or hummus, for God's sake, So there are lots of things to be done. I always tell my European audience, and Latin America is not the same case, because you have more free mind in Latin America. But in Europe, tell them, Israel is occupying our country, but it occupies your mind as well. Thank you very much.
Mr. Saif, thank you once more for accepting our invitation. It has been an honor to have you here with us. E vocês que nos acompanharam, continuam nos acompanhando, muito obrigado. Fiquem ligados porque o programa de entrevistas da Terra Redonda continua. Até mais.